It's Beat Tennessee week, so we got to talk about what the heck we need to do here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show. A Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. That's Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. You don't think we deserve it? Go ahead and give us 5 anyway. Gift it. So, on today's episode, which we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today because yesterday's press conference was interesting. So we'll talk about BV and Buckle's awareness as they kind of like admitted something. We're going to look at the game and what we think we need to do and what we need to look forward to. We'll also wrap things up like we do every Wednesday now. We will be here until about 7:25 because at 7:10, we'll get the availability report. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. If you're not using them for daily fantasy ball, you are missing out. Use our promo code UNFAIR and they're going to hook you up, match your first deposit 100% up to $100. And they give you $20 just for signing up. Use our promo code UNFAIR. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Coop! Happy Wednesday, my man. How you doing?
Doing good. Finally carved pumpkins tonight with the kids. And so, daughter goes with the traditional pumpkin, nothing too spectacular. But the son and that Minecraft obsession had some kind of a Minecraft pumpkin. So I'm in there carving up stuff like I'm an artiste. And, I've got enough to like not look like I'm, drawing something with my wrong hand. But your boy's not an artist.
No, lies on the internet. I know you probably did a beautiful pumpkin. We would like to see pictures. Please post those on the socials. That way we can enjoy it because I need a good laugh for this week. 'Cause I know it's beautiful. I know it's it's cinema. Absolute
Why
cinema.
Are you the
I know
way
it
that
is.
you are? I'll post it. I'll put it out after up on the front porch. It's a wither from Minecraft. Not sure what that is, but I carved it.
That's a plus. Okay. Yeah, I'm not doing any of the pumpkin stuff anymore. I don't have littles anymore. Mine's are bigs. And they just really just ask for food. My daughter asked me today, Bose came out with a speaker. And it's a citrus yellow. And a company took that citrus yellow Bose portable speaker and they created kind of like a Halloween costume, but like a cover and box for it that makes it look like butter. It looks like legitimate butter that you would get from the grocery store. I thought it was hilarious. So but that's what she wants. So I'm going to get my daughter a speaker that looks like butter. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Thank y'all for pulling up. Love seeing each and every single one of y'all in here. We got, like I said, we got a lot of things to talk about. First off, we got to dive into, Brent Venables admitted something that kind of pretty important in my personal opinion. At his presser, him and actually Ben Arbuckle, Coop, I kind of want to get your thoughts on this. So BV was talking about quarterback play. And of course, he admitted the most important thing out of all of this is that you can't have a quarterback that plays poorly and expect to win. Very, very simple. But they don't have to play perfect to win either. In which I think what Brent Venables is trying to tell us is he knows the defense should be able to win these games, and he's got to get better at that on his side, especially playing against a team like Tennessee, who offensively it's pretty ridiculous and very consistent. Josh Heupel has put together a monster. So he admitted to that. That was very intriguing to me. And he talked about he says that we had 8-point issues, the 3 phases, the miscues in special teams, the penalty to fumble, poor kickoff coverage. He kind of went in at the presser, which kind of made me feel good a little bit. But I'm also at this point of, we're going to get a lot of lip service. Can I get a little action? What you think?
Missouri. Missouri's called the Show Me State. I used to have a sales guy that worked for me, and every single time he'd get in trouble, I would tell him what he did incorrect, and then he would sit there and say, you know what, you're right. you're right. I needed to be doing this better, and I need to do this better, and I need to do this better. I ended up firing that kid. I will say this. We all see it. Thank you for acknowledging it. At least it's not acknowledgement. But, it's just my personal opinion is the defense, going back to those high-stress plays, you're in a high-stress scenario week after week after week because the offense keeps on doing the 3-and-outs. Jay, you know what I want for Christmas? To get God bless. Yes. Get a first down on our first possession out of halftime. We might be the worst team in college football, and it's like 3-and-outs, and they're not even like competitive plays. If we don't gain 0, we lose yards. And so it's like I hear all the defense stuff, and defense had its share of issues, right?
Yeah.
They really did. OU is, I think, 4th in the SEC in missed tackles, and I think it's deceiving. Yeah, it's a deceiving stat because I think that when you swarm the ball, first guy gets there, he's usually flying up the field, and somebody's right there back behind him because you also, lead by a country mile in tackles for loss and negative plays. But I digress to say, yes, you have pointed out all the stuff that is incorrect. And it's incorrect week to week. And I don't think I'm out of line in saying that all falls back on the head coach.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing that I'm happy that he admits to, right? He points out that it's on him, and he's got to get them tightened up. But you're never going to get a 100% perfect game out of anybody. It's impossible.
No.
We're human beings. We're going to do stuff in anticipation and miss a spot, even if you're following all your assignments. They could follow all the assignments he provides and still make a miss. They could do a little ad-libbing and cause a miss. It's going to happen. So I understand that. The key thing is that because of the way his defense is played, there are always vulnerabilities people take advantage of. And Caveman made a good point here. Modern day Caveman made a solid point here of Kiffin possibly provided a blueprint of it. But there's a but to that, because I don't think that that's 100% how that would work. Because if you huddle the entire time and you just go really slow, at some point we're going to be able to adjust and be prepared for you. That's not how Lane Kiffin typically calls his games. Like, again, just going back to that game, they had a time of possession of like 35 minutes. That's their highest this season. The next one behind that, if I'm correct, was LSU, and they had a time of possession of 34. Every other game is like 28, 27, 26. They're a tempo team. They go, 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 go. He was huddling. He played it smart. Heupel's not going to do it like that. It's not how his offense operates, and that's not how he plays, especially if the weather's nice, which it's supposed to be.
And I would say this, too. Steve Sarkisian and Kwiatkowski, they laid the blueprint for it. They chose to take what's given to them and to consistently do that. And let's be honest. I mean, you get a couple of those drives extended by penalties. The offsides lineup by RMT, the egregious roughing the passer on Jaden Jackson, like. You take away those. I mean, the offsides is offsides. Like you did something incorrect. But right. The Jaden Jackson one was crap. And so I think that the defense. I mean, also the illegal formation on the offense at the 7-yard line. You back it up. You get the safety. You punt it right back off. So it's the hidden. Teddy went into that last week on the breakdown, or on Wednesday on the break, or whatever it was, Sunday. He went over that because he was saying, like, you can't compound. And it's like in any sport, like, you can't compound errors. You go on baseball, you have an errant throw from third base to first base. It goes off the wall. The next guy gets the ball. He throws an errant throw to the second baseman. You turn one into multiple errors, and that's hard to overcome because, like, errors are just, in a competitive league, errors are hard enough to overcome. When you compound them, it's damning. And so, yeah, I mean, I would just go Yeah, we all get it. We made a lot of errors, and you cut those down by 25%. It's a different game, right? But you also got to look over at the offensive coordinator, and you got to look at the quarterback and say, when we're doing that, you got to kind of be on your game, and you can't have all these issues with missing wide open dudes and calling situations where not going to the well when it's plentiful. So, but like I said at the beginning, it's a show me. I want you to go show me, because this is not a game that you're going up to Knoxville and going like, man, there's a chance we can win. Like, you can win this game. You can win every single game on the rest of your schedule. But if you have these compounding errors and you don't clean up the stuff, and if you hurt yourself, you can lose every game on the schedule. And then we got a different conversation going on.
That conversation is going to be the worst one. You don't want to have that conversation.
No.
The thing is, this one is a winnable game. Spread is low. It's like 3.5, meaning if the home team doesn't play a perfect game and you play close enough to that, you could steal it. I think it's like 52.5 is the over-under total on this game. So
it's gone down.
It's not as high as I thought it was going to be. Like, I'm a little surprised. Let me go look real quick to remind myself. But I was a little bit surprised on what the number was. I haven't seen any movement. It stayed steady so far. All the juice is on Oklahoma, so they don't want Oklahoma bets. They're trying to get more Tennessee bets, it looks like. And we probably won't see a big traffic change until we see not only the injury report tonight, but also weather going into the weekend. And so I'm assuming the Sharps will jump all over it on Friday on one of the sides. There hasn't been a heavy influx either.
That's typically what's going to happen, is those people are going to see what's going on, because the Sharps they're not going to go throw money around unless it's a sure thing right then and there. But they're going to wait and see if the line goes, because if the line cuts down to 2.5, 2, you want to bet that differently. But it's I will say this. It's Halloween weekend. Knoxville at night. Like, you hear all of the craziness about a lot of these stadiums in the SEC. And if anything, like, I want OU fans to kind of pay attention to this, because I want you to try to replicate against Missouri and LSU what's going down this weekend. Like, we need to start having Norman not only just be a tough place to play, but have some mystique and some voodoo commentary around coming to Norman to play. And everybody says, hey man, it's a great town, great people. Like, they're like, I want a little bit of, like, there's a bunch of great people, but there's some crazy ass mofos out there too. Like, I want to start getting some of that reputation.
I get you on that. Shout out to Habazinga for dropping in a super chat, $5. We appreciate it. Hate to say it, but I don't think Arbuck was the guy's play calling is just not good enough. You can see his lack of experience, just my opinion. Yeah, I completely disagree with you. You know what this team looks like to me, Coop? 2022, first year with Jeff Levy. That's what it looks like. Because I don't know if you knew where we were in, like, total offense in 2022. Do you know, by chance?
In the Big 12 or in the nation?
In the nation.
I bet we'd be right around the 50 to 60, maybe a little bit higher.
No, we were higher. We were like 13th by the end of the season.
Okay, the Dylan Gabriel. Yeah.
The first year with Dylan Gabriel. The second year, we was top 5.
Yeah, we were up there.
Efficiency-wise, we were low his first year. It just wasn't that great. It was also that Dylan Gabriel and Jeff Levy were only two that knew the offense. Everybody else was learning it the first year. Second year, when everybody knew it, looked like a completely different offense. Plus, your coaching was a little bit different too. So, yeah, I think that Arbuckle will figure it out. It's just it's going to take him a year to adjust to the fact that he's at the toughest conference in college football.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that has he shown that he is? I mean, is he getting job offers? I mean, none of us wanted him to be getting big job offers at the end of this year, right? And if he was doing top 15 offense stuff right now, and we also got to think, like, there is some issue, like, since the injury, John Mateer has looked different. You've been in an absolute flux, but we wanted a better offense we had last year. It's better than it was last year. I mean,
that's much better. You see the numbers.
That's not an argument. But dude just turned 30. He's getting tutored. It's a lot different when you're playing at Washington State and there's about 100,000 people across the world that know what happened with your football team, and then being in mainline SEC network games, ABC, ESPN, stuff like that. Like there's a lot that he is learning, and I think that he will get better. And that's just what I think. Now, if I end up wrong, then sure, like maybe you're correct. But I still do think that. Let's see, you found something with the running game. You've learned your mistakes. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That type of situation. Let's see what happens, going forward because, I think, right. There we go.
Thank you, Daniel.
Right there,
appreciate the $5. Why are people mad with, I think, half QB play? Last year we had 0. Jackson's a 5-star bust. It happens. Relax, people. Now, you're going to have your irrationals. That's just what it is. You're going to have your outliers. You're going to have the irrational fan on this far of the spectrum. You're going to have the rational fan that's going to think differently. You're going to have people in the middle. Most of us are in the middle. We expect better play. And, I mean, to me, as well as they played and defensively, Michigan's actually rated pretty good on the defense side this season. They're top 20 on defense efficiency. That was a good game. But that was
Auburn.
Also a fully healthy Mateer.
Yeah,
right?
And
same thing with Auburn.
You look at Auburn. Auburn's like one of the only teams that hasn't given up more than 24 points all season. Like one of the 4 teams. Like it was Auburn, Miami, Ohio State, and I can't remember the 4th one.
It's not Indiana. I think it's Indiana, right?
Maybe so. I mean, they're playing the old Pac-12 schedule still.
Exactly. They don't. Exactly.
But I would say this is that there has been. I mean, we ran that touchdown pass to Satania against South Carolina. He dials that up again. It's wide open. Mateer just doesn't hit him. So I would think that there's a little bit of offensive line. Has Arbuckle been an A grade for this year? No. I'll go with a B, B minus.
Yeah.
But I also think that next year you probably see something a little bit different. I think throughout the rest of the season, if you got, we get back to if you find your offensive line combination that you want to go with and they stay healthy. But that's the thing is every single time that you get that offensive line settled, somebody gets rolled up on, somebody gets a concussion, something like that happens. Mateer breaks his thumb. It's been difficult for Arbuckle right now, and you hope that at this point going forward we see something. You see some, can you build on last week? And that's a whole offensive side of the ball and head coach type of a situation.
Exactly. So that's going to be the conversation. We're going to transition right in, and we're going to talk about what we are going to be looking for, offense, defense, us versus our good friends down there at Rocket Top. I actually love that they're going to go with the dark mode jerseys. That is going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of you, for those that are going to be in town, please enjoy the beauty of it because I sure am. So let's talk about what we think about what we're going to be looking for on offense and defense. First, let's go ahead and talk about our partners over here at Sleeper. If you're not checking them out for Daily Fantasy Ball, looking out. They are the presenting sponsor of the channel, and they've got some great options. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to hook you up, match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. And they're going to give you $20 just for checking them out. So, of course, we're going to make a couple of picks here. Whenever you look at what's available, see, college football right now, they got a boost going on, 35% boost for adding college players. So you got to make sure you add 3 or more players, pick more or less on their stats. And if you hit, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So you can make your game days into paydays. And so, of course, Oklahoma has some stuff in here for Oklahoma, Tennessee. That's going to be the one that you got Vanderbilt and Texas in here. That one to me is intriguing because I would love to see if Diego Pavia gets more yards. I don't even think they have Arch Manning in here. Why? Because we don't even know if he's going to play. So that's something to check out. But, of course, like I said, Oklahoma and Tennessee is in here because they are the night game. And we'll put some picks on them a little later. Check them out. Use the promo code UNFAIR, and they'll hook you up with a deposit bonus. Match it at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. So, Coop, first off, let's talk about the biggest matchup in this game. Everybody wants to be in the comments complaining about the offense, and I totally understand. We'll get into that a little bit more deeper because I think that just deserves, its time, and that'll lead us right into the injury report. But Tennessee's offense is ridiculous. They're third in college football right now in yards at 510 yards per game, which is, if you really think about it, it's pretty obscene that they're able to do that as an offense. Offensive efficiency-wise, though, they're only 14th in the country. So they're not super efficient. But they put a lot of numbers up. And I saw one of the little Spider-Man deals, the Spider-Man chart or whatever. And their biggest issue is they don't have a lot of explosive plays. What is our weakness, Coop? Explosive plays. So when you look at it, you're like, how exactly are we going to be able to stop them? But they're very good. Like I said, they're big on the. Let me pull up their spider web. I think the spider web is kind of fascinating, actually. Come on, is this the one? This is it. This is their Spider-Man on offense. Their spider web. So what it goes through, it's your estimated point average per play, and got early downs, late downs. They're good on just keeping the ball moving. Very high on the stuff percentage, means they don't get stuffed. They do a good job of getting the ball going. Solid with their opportunities, but the explosions is where they struggle. Like, just don't do a bunch of explosive plays. Now, granted, we saw a bunch of explosive plays against Georgia, but year over year, consistency-wise, they don't. Which is like the wildest thing to me in the world to see that they don't do that. Like, I would have thought the way that their offense is ran with Heupel, that they would have a lot of explosive plays. They don't. They're just consistent. That's the thing that Heupel has done a very fantastic job there is he's consistent as hell. He's just consistent.
It is. And I think that one of the things that I've noticed a lot with their offense is, Heupel calls a hell of a game. Like he really does. Like whenever he has a play call, Joey Aguilar, he knows that it's going to work, and he sticks to the game plan. He stays on game plan very, very, very well, which can be used against him.
Yeah.
The pick six against Bama, he was going that way no matter what. Unless
that is the thing. That is the thing.
Yeah.
He will do that.
Unless the line crumbled in front of him, which they don't do a ton of crumbling. He has it. He has the 1-2 read, and it's gone. Like he's not going to do a lot of ad lib, and I think that they've got 3 receivers in the top 10 in the SEC in receiving yardage, so they get the ball to a lot of different guys. So you're going to see all the defensive backs getting tested. Whatever rotation that Brent Venables uses. I'm curious to see what he does. Does he stick with a Eli Bowen, Cortland Guillory? We'll see what Gentry's designation is here coming up. But at this point in the season, you just got to think that it's probably going to be Eli and Cortland for the bulk of the snaps at defensive back, and you're probably going to see a Reggie Powers in coverage. But you're going to have that opportunity, and if you can bump him off of what his mind set to do, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Oh, yeah. Defense has a good opportunity here to really wreak havoc, because their offensive line is actually solid. And David Sanders Jr., the true freshman right tackle, is back, and he's put up some pretty good reps. I was watching the film guy break it down, and he's been putting some good reps in. Now, he's very vulnerable in some certain spots. You'll be able to have a way to cause problems. And so when you get in here and you look at Oklahoma's defensive profile, this is our defense. Just so y'all know, the more coverage you have, the better your team actually is as far as ratings
bigger the
go.
web.
Yeah, the bigger the web, the better your team is at it. And we struggle at giving up those occasional explosive run plays. It's really it. And that to me is because we
mostly in rushing game.
Yeah, it's rushing game. It's runs. It's because we get aggressive with where we go fill up holes. And teams use that against us. That's what Ole Miss did. They used our aggressiveness against us. That's how that personal foul came on Jaden Jackson. He was pursuing him. The lineman was losing, so he pushed him right into the quarterback. They called it on us. That's just kind of what you do. You just leverage aggressiveness against you. But that's what we're sitting at right now. This is your this takes out garbage time stuff. This is all focused on, this is really your adjusted, right? It's pretty darn good. That's the good thing about it. So for us defensively, and you mentioned it, Coop, because I actually saw Gabe and Teddy talking about it as well. The big thing with Aguilar is he's going to make his reads. He has a slow wind up, but a very quick release. But he knows where he's going. If you know how to follow his eyes properly, because he's going to look off the safeties, you got a chance. He turns the ball over. Now, a lot of his turnovers are drops from his receivers. I think 4 of his 6 picks were tipped by the wide receiver into somebody else's hands. So you got chances. He's going to throw it in spots that's going to get the ball tipped. We do a good job of getting our hands up. That's going to be a force. He doesn't scramble. He can. He doesn't. Went back and watched him. He will stick in that pocket and launch it.
Yeah.
He is determined to get rid of that ball. I think it's 37 carries for like 90 yards this season. So you won't need a spy. You just need to make sure you fill gaps, fill holes with linebackers, and make sure you watch him and make sure nobody's crossing behind you when he's trying to run, and you push up and you tackle him. He's not going to really run like that. That's not his game. Thank goodness.
And also, I say you look to this, is our Mason Thomas is going to get his opportunities. And with his big, long get ready, he's going to have the ball back behind him getting ready to throw. And if our Mason Thomas gets there, he's going to be able to pull the ball out or knock his arm out. And he's done it several times. Arch Manning has a really, really quick release. I mean, that's just pedigree from his family. Yep. Even with Chambliss had a little bit, he's got more of that Michael Vick kind of sling. But
flings it.
With Aguilar, look for that in the game. And that'll be one that if R. Mason or one of the edges gets their opportunity, Taylor Wine gets his opportunity, he's going to reach back and he is going to have the ball out there in his arm. And if you are in the area, you can swipe at that and you can cause a fumble. And I'll bet you that it's going to happen at least once. And worst case scenario, I mean, his arm's going to be coming forward and you're going to have it knocked out. And too bad Satania doesn't play defense, because I'm pretty sure that he'd be involved in was the hand moving forward type of review. But that's going to be something that we'll see at some point during the game.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that. They're going to be trying to get rid of the ball. Now, the thing about them, and we'll talk about defense in a moment, is that every game they play is a shootout. The question in here was about Ole Miss and their scoring. I think they are averaging well over 40-something points per game this season. Like, we held them under their average. They score a lot of points. That is really what the Ole Miss does. Let me look. I'm actually give you the number. Now they're 37. But they scored, here's their number, 63 to start the season, 30 on Kentucky, 41 on Arkansas, 45 on Tulane, 24 and 24 on LSU, Washington State, 43 on Georgia. I'm sorry, 35 on Georgia, and then 34 on us. They score. Pretty consistent with what they do.
I would also say this too. A big thing that's going to come up at the end of this game is which team can close out. Yep. And that's not either really offense or defense. Tennessee's had an issue with closing out games also. They could have beat Georgia.
Should have beat Georgia, actually.
Should have.
Yes.
Right? they were sticking there with Alabama, and they just kind of came off of it. But they've had some trouble at the end of games, and so let's see what happens, at that, because it's been preached on, by Venables, this week and in prior, but you got to close it out. Like, you got to wrap them up, and you made a comment before we got in here about how the game was going to go, and I think that whether it's on defense, whether it's on offense, OU needs to be able to take advantage to deliver the knockout punch if that opportunity arises, because that's going to be a big thing. You don't want you don't want this defense on the field like it was against Ole Miss.
And
you don't want them out there.
I don't think it will be too.
I don't either.
Because they for real run tempo. Like, Bama had a time of possession in their game of 31 to Tennessee's 28, which is about what Tennessee does every week. They are not a time of possession team. That's just not what they do. Their tempo, and they're gonna go, and they'll be at home. It'll be optimal weather. Of course, they're gonna have the fans right behind them, but they are the lowest team in the SEC in time of possession at 26 minutes per game, and that's every year. That's every year. 2024, actually, we're better in 24. There's that closer to 29, because that was when they was running the ball with Sampson. 2023, they were at 24. That was the lowest. 2022, that was at 25. That was the lowest. Last year was the only time, and that was because Nico wasn't very good last season. If you really think about it, right? Joey Aguilar is a big-time upgrade for them, and he's good. Kind of told everybody he's going to be good. He's really good. But when I went back and watched the Bama tape of how they defended him, they had them boys spinning. Like, Aguilar still he had like 260-something yards, but they just kept finding ways to force them to get rid of that ball, and they didn't let the run game really get established. They just kept making them punt, and Bama would go out there, and it was like the second quarter, that's when you started to see Bama take over. Their defense was just in them, and then that pick six really put the nail in the coffin for them in that game. That, to me, kind of closed it. But that Bama defense, go back and watch the game. If you got a DVR, or if you can go find it online, go back and watch that Tennessee-Alabama game. If there's a blueprint to beat us, that is the blueprint to beat Tennessee. They had them in hell. And we know that Womack's defense ain't that good.
Well, Bama's passing defense is much better than their rush defense. And so that's one of the big things that I've been kind of curious about is, does Josh Heupel come off of what he does? Because, again, listening to Gabe, he was, kind of talking about how they'll come in and try to attack some weaknesses early, and then they're going to kind of settle back into who they are. Yep. And we saw that last year, is once you got to that time to where it was like, the elbow shot from Robert Spears-Jennings hitting Nico, guys getting lit up. Once you saw those situations start to go in, Josh Heupel was like, they're not scoring on us. Let's just get out of here. He can't do that this year. He's not going to be able to turn to his defense and rely on the defense. So how is he going to call this game? Is he going to change his methodology, after a couple conflicts, come across, if there's an early turnover, if they're having trouble running the ball, like what are they going to do on that one? Because if I'm Josh Heupel, I'm taking one or two shots at Brazil. Like at some point, like you're going to give that dude, what is he, 6'5"? Neither of our defensive backs are even 6 foot. Was Eli like 5'9", 5'10"?
Well, Cortland's 6 foot. He's just, I think he's a hair under 6'1". So Cortland's your tallest one, but yeah.
So, but Brazil, that's a big dude.
6'5", dude.
So,
he's 6'5", and he's fast. He's fast. Good.
And so, does Heupel want to the game plan? Does he have a specific game plan? How do you do that? How do you manage that? Like, what is he going to do there? Because I tell you what, if you start second guessing yourself and you start trying to get out of your identity, we've seen what it looks like, on our side. But This defense needs to force him out of his identity to where he's trying to be that offensive genius that he is and not just have a lot of, sticking to the same script.
Exactly. So for us, the critical thing is Razzle is going to be your problem. Deshaun Bishop, their running back, they got another good back. He's not Sampson, but Deshaun Bishop is a solid SEC back. He got 100 yards against Bama in that loss. He had the 2 games he had 100 yards was at Arkansas and Bama. Georgia had him to 54 yards. I think we can as well. We just can't give up the big run like we did to Justice Haynes against Michigan. But hell, he's one of the top running backs in the country right now statistically. So it's not like we gave it up to a scrub. We gave it up to a running back that's actually really good. And Kejuan Lacey is also one of the top backs in the SEC. We made Jeremiah Cobb have to work for his. So you obviously did something right there, right? So we have to do that. You're going to have to force Aguilar to beat you the most, eliminate the ability to do play action, and keep pressure on Aguilar. So you're going to have to get creative with your blitz packages. Like I said, I don't see Heupel going out of his typical no huddle. So now the thing that's interesting though, Coop, not gonna lie, our offense versus their defense, because as it was mentioned in the comments just now, their defense is 122nd in the country. So let's go ahead and take a gander at that. But first, we've got to pay these bills. Make some picks here with our partners at Sleeper. Use our promo code UNFAIR. Get 100% back on your deposit up to $100. Let's look at this game. So Sleeper believes Mateer is in a 240-something yard range. Just because I am an optimist, I'm going to take more. Give me Deshaun Bishop scoring 1 touchdown because he's just that good. He's going to score. Aguilar at 260. And I don't think he's had a game where he hasn't gotten over 260, so we'll take the more there because there's a big possibility. Can Deion Burks get a touchdown? I'm definitely taking Isaiah Satania because you know he's going to do something. And Brazel, that dude's a pain. But I want Giovanni Gibson to get his first touchdown. You can do the same. Use our promo code UNFAIR. Pick more or less on the stats. If you feel like it's not going to be any of them, pick less on everything. That means you'll win if you're right. You know what you're doing. So check them out. Use the promo code UNFAIR. They're going to match your first deposit 100% up to $100. Plus, they just going to give you $20 just for signing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank you all for pulling up as usual. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe if you're listening. Rate, review, give us 5 stars. Coop, here we go. This, my friend, when I looked at this pie chart, when I looked at this spider web, I got queasy. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to start with their defense because I think their defense tells a pretty darn good story here. No one ever believes us when we point these things out. So is that the full picture? There's a full picture right there. Look at their defense. This is their defense on the spider web. They do a really good job of making you have 3rd and long. They're pretty solid at that. Their stuff percentage, opportunity percentages, not bad. And they do stop explosive runs. But they ain't good at stopping anything else. This defense is horrendous compared to last year. And it's mainly because they have dealt with so many injuries on defense. I was talking to my guy Eric Kane over there on Locked On Vols. Fantastic episode. It'll launch on the Locked On Sooners channel tomorrow. And he was talking about, he's like, man, there's so much potential for this team, but the defense ain't there this year. You don't have James Pierce out there terrorizing everybody, right? You don't have all of those beasts you had on defense last season. They're not there. And then McCoy is dealing with that torn ACL that was late last season, and he's still recovering. He's working out. He's still limited in practice. He won't play this week. Now, put it this way. They're not going to risk him this week. You may see him in like 2 weeks, but you're not going to see him this week. They are. Whew. They'll probably play him against New Mexico State, which is in 2 weeks because they get a bye week
100%.
after us. Perfect time to play him. Give him a light game, be able to do something. But Coop, this is bad. Now, granted, our offense ain't that much better, but this is bad. Their defense is really bad. And as is mentioned in the comments section, 199th in total defense. They literally are a mirror image of what we used to be back in the day.
Lincoln Riley Day. I will start with this, though. I will start with this, Jay.
Defense, you're done. But go ahead.
These are like this is SEC athletes still. Don't get it twisted. These are SEC athletes. And if you give them confidence, they will take it and they will run with it. But a lot of this comes because they are cheeks at tackling.
They really are bad at tackling. Aren't they one of like the lowest in the country?
I think they're number one in the SEC worst tackling team.
Oh, gosh.
But I would say this, that there is an absolute this isn't going to be that they just let dudes run wide down the field. It is the old school Alex Grinch, the type of defense to where you can't tackle anybody to save your life. They make dumb plays too. Their nickelback, which I think is a mid band. I don't think it's the worst band in the world, but Boo Carter is
Boo.
He reminds me of Bookie. You're like, oh, look at that. That's a really good play. And then you look and you're like, what the hell was he thinking right there? And you're like, he had no clue on that one. So it is a mixed bag of WTF with WTF, him.
Mate.
The longer, I love that you brought that. The further back from the defensive line, the worse it gets. It is a parfait of poor defense. I'll coin that phrase, and Topher, if you can clip that. But it is a parfait of bad defense. The best is that the defensive line, still not what it was last year. The linebackers get progressively worse. Defensive backs and then the safeties. Hopefully we'll see the back of their jerseys several times.
Yep.
That's why they struggle. And it is just, you said it. They'll get you in the third and long, and then they'll let you out. They'll let you out. And, man, it's a you want to give the ball to the athletes. Like, that are athletes. And we're going to have opportunities to make guys miss. And you don't want to run straight at people. You want to try to get out of those tackles. And I promise you this, we're going to see some people sliding down X-Rob's body the further he gets in the secondary, because I mean they will bounce right off of him, and it's not going to it won't be pretty.
Yeah, if there's one thing that X-Rob's going to do, he's going to break some tackles. 100%. I'm here for that. And that's what we're going to have to do. If we do a lot of that, we good. We really need to be handing him the ball at least 20 times in this game. Give Torrey Blaylock 15, because you're going to have to rotate the two. But run right at them. Make them tackle you. Juke them. They'll fall. They'll miss. They don't wrap up very well. I mean, that's our offense right there right now. It's, some things that we do. A couple of things here or there.
It's a baby spider web right there.
But
I will say this. One thing I do notice about their defense is they seem to have eyes on one player, and they will dictate that's the player that we need to stop. And they actually do a really good job at that. In that Alabama game, it was Jam Miller. Now, Alabama has a rough time running the ball, but anytime he got the ball, they looked like a different defense. When it went somewhere else, they looked like what they are. So who are they going to look at? Are they going to be staring at are they going to be focusing on John Mateer, not letting him get out and run the ball? Or are they going to say, hey, listen, we saw what happened last week. We don't want to let Xavier Robinson get off, so we're going to focus on him. Whatever it ends up being, like, you're going to have a lot of opportunity. And I would love to see a situation. I saw it a couple of times versus Ole Miss where we pulled Deion Burks back into the backfield and didn't really do anything with that. But I'd like to see, a situation to where you bring him back out, you motion him out, you get him on a sweep, and then you get those athletes out in space and you make them come up and make tackles. That's going to be a situation where if Ben Arbuckle has learned from the Ole Miss game, it is look at the tape, see what they have struggles doing, and let's exploit it. Because if we bunch up and we just try to run it through their defensive line, we play right into their strength. And we need, if more than ever, we need to spread them out.
That's the key thing. We do need to go to a veer and shoot type version of the air raid and play it that way. Keep them spread out, make them chase dudes, hit them get them in space, get Deion Burks in space. I mean, Arbuckle told us he's going to do that. We've gotten the lip service of him. He talked about that in his presser, thank goodness. But that's where we're at. We're going to need to spread them out as much as possible because as you look at this, they're not stopping much. And that's just being honest. They're not. That's just not how their defense is played this year. They're just not as good on D as they were like last year. It's completely, when you see it's night and day.
100% different.
Last year's defense was so solid. Yeah. It was a top 15 efficiency rated defense in the country. I mean, we were top 7 when we finished last year. Yeah, we were number 7 in the country. They were number 11. They were good. This year, I don't think they're like 100 and as I search for them because wow, they did.
It's a couple scrolls.
Yeah, I know you got to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to find people. They ain't very good at that. That's the key thing. Tennessee, the 25th in efficiency rating. Interesting. On the adjusted, not actually bad. They've given up 30 points to every team in the SEC so far that they played. Kentucky got 34 points on them. That one was interesting. And I think, didn't they get like 2 pick sixes? Now, that's the one thing I will say about Tennessee's defense, though. They're gonna force turnovers.
They're gonna try.
They're gonna jump plays. For it. They're gonna sell out for picks. They got 5, and they've got 2 touchdowns so far on interceptions. They've recovered 9 fumbles so far, and they've brought, I think, 2 of those in for touchdowns. So they're going to get turnovers. That's their game. Not mad at it. Pretty good. But they average, as Sean points out here, 12.5 missed tackles a game so far.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal.
And they'll get, I mean, they're not terrible at sacking the quarterback. They'll get in there. So now they also don't have the interior defensive line that Ole Miss had. Mm-mm. That was the strength of their defensive line, and I mean they brought it. And then Prince isn't really bad. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Yeah. So
Prince,
but again,
very good.
You have to keep it out. And here's the thing is, their fans are not them. They're going to believe that they're going to win this game. They're going to have all the confidence in the world, and you got to instill some doubt in that.
Right. Like every Tennessee fan I've talked to so far, there's like, we got a lot of, we should win this game. But my question is, what is our defense going to look like? And is your offense going to flip the switch like they did at the beginning of the season? Will it switch back on? Because if that happens, because at the beginning of the season, we saw, Ty Simpson did not look very good, and we had questions about him, and he got to this game, and he was cooking. He was dealing.
Yeah.
It's going to be on John Mateer 100% on what he brings to the table. And we got to talk about him a little bit now. So let's jump into the John Mateer conversation. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Ben Arbuckle, as well as Brent Venables and all of them, they talked about John Mateer and how he needs to be better and play better. And, Ben Arbuckle said the obvious thing in his admission of, I need to see more of that, see more of it in practice. And people are asking, wait, you ain't doing this in practice today? Yeah, they are. Like, he'd be out there cooking in practice, but at the same time, he's also going against a really good defense. We win some, they win some, they lose some. It isn't perfect, but the biggest thing right now is John's got to figure out how to calm his nerves and hit those wide open dudes. Some people complain about Ben Arbuckle's play call. I had my complaints about it. Go back and rewatched it. There were so many dudes open. That Satania touchdown, Jaron Koenig was wide open in the corner. He was literally back there. He was like doing origami. I saw him knitting a sweater in that corner, right? Like he was knitting like hoods for the players because it was raining to try to keep them dry. He was wide open. And then when I kept looking at a few other ones, there was a lot of people wide open in the game. Like, after I was able to take the emotion of the loss out of it and really just watched it earlier this week, there was some dudes that was just doing this. And that's where John's going to have to get better. I know he was trying to lock in on Giovanni in situations. He's got to hit Burks across the middle and let Burks make space and make things happen. I know that he kind of has some quote-unquote yips around some of those passes after the Keontae Lewis hit at the beginning of the season. Dudes are open. For me, with Ben, it's telling him, hit that guy, he's going to be open on that route if you look at it 1, 2, 3. He probably will, so I'm not that concerned about it. I know that in time, John will get better. John gave us some good games against Auburn as well as Michigan, and that's where you start to see the ascend. I need him to get back to that. If he goes out there and blows it out the water, then what can we say? Right? What is there to say from there?
There's many factors that go into it. Like, number one, I think that the interceptions against Texas were not just the fact that he threw interceptions. It was, Burks ran kind of a wonky route at the end of the first half, and he trusted his receiver to be there. I mean, what needs to be happening is you need to tell him, like, hey, listen, if the receiver runs a wrong route, that's not on you. Like, you need to understand, because when we call plays and it's designed to go to Satania and dude goes running wide open and you get too antsy, like, you're going to have to hang in there. And I think that Mateer takes, plenty of big shots. And, I remember, during the Michigan game, that's one of the big things. It's like, can you sustain this for the entire season?
Right.
I don't think that he's broken. I think that at some point I want to see him hang in the pocket, wait a half a second longer, take a shot, twofold, take a shot downfield, hit a guy that's open, and then sit in there and take one of those licks, because you're going to get hit one way or the other.
Yep.
And you can't play, scared money don't make money. So, I mean, you can't. He can't stand back there and get too antsy and, be worried about those things. You see glimpses. You see the playmaking capability, because, I mean, he's missing dudes when he's rolling out. He's missing dudes while he's in the pocket. He's missing dudes when he's got a clean pocket. He's missing dudes when he has a pocket breaking down. You got to do it, because, I mean, you're the reason why this team had a lot of high hopes, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
High hopes, we've got high hopes, we've got high in the sky. My bad. Continue. My bad. That was.
No, that's all right. That's right. That's okay. I don't think you're showing up on The Voice anytime soon, but
wow, the level of disrespect.
Neither am I. But no, that's what you literally have the entire season in front of you, and if you go out and take it, I mean, everything kind of lines up again for next week, and so, but you play one game at a time, and. We all said he's got a lot of Baker in him. Well, this is where kind of Baker became Baker, is in Neyland Stadium, and let's see it happen. I want to see it.
I need to see it too. I just need to see him show us that. Wow, Boomer, you're talking bad about me and my singing. Terrible. No, I need to see him give us that bounce back, because what I've noticed is. He starts off fine, and then it slowly just teeters down. Like he's a backyard baller, and in the SEC you can't play too much. You can't play backyard ball all game long. There has to be a structure. You know what I'm saying? He needs to get to that point of playing within the confines and know he needs to get rid of the ball. Like, you don't have to make all the big plays. You don't have to save the day or put the cape on all the time. It's tougher in the SEC than anywhere else. They're going to make you think about it a lot harder. And so you got to come in there a little bit better prepared on, all right, I'm going to go ahead and step back, boom, 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 get my looks, launch it. And if I'm going to, just run. If you're going to run, don't hesitate. I think that's the thing that's bothered me the most on this. It's like, dog, you are thinking too hard about this scramble. Go. It's okay.
Yeah, just get it. Just get it. I mean, if you're going to make the decision, make the damn decision, live with it. But that's how I kind of want to see him go from this point on. It's like you can – earlier in the year, I mean, he played a lot of chaos ball, and he was the person dictating the chaos. And it looks like since the thumb, that's been the major holdback. Listen, I'll live with you being super decisive and winging it. If you want to put the ball, at a 50-50 spot and the defense back just wins, I mean, listen, I'm not going to fault you on that one. But if it's that situation where he takes the ball and he starts kind of hunching when he's running, and what it is he's waiting for the hit instead of like going out and delivering it. Now, you're another week further away from the thumb injury. If it's not an issue anymore, stop looking like it's an issue, because it's not going to silence the fans if you go running in there tentatively and just bounce in the back and give a little Javonte Barnes running style where you're just running in the back of your offensive lineman. We can't see that anymore. That crap's got to stop.
Yep. You can't, if you're going to run. Like, there was moments where when he did do that scramble, it was like 11-something yard scramble that was late in the game. You're like, oh, that was a really good run. And we were satisfied with that. That's what we were wanting out of him. You made a decision and you left. We need more of that. Decisions have to be made. If you don't, you're going to end up getting leveled by defenders, and that's not the way things won. From there, got to yank you. And we'll see how the rest of that goes. I don't know how the fan base is going to feel. They'll probably be happy when he's yanked. Hopefully the performance follows behind it, but we'll see. I think that this is a good game for him to come back. This is his opportunity. He just needs to, like his numbers. It was at Brooks Austin, the guy that does the Film Guy Network. He said that pre-surgery material on the passing game, 275, 11 yards per completion at 67%. Post, 191 per game on 10 yards per completion on 58%. Noticeable decline.
Yeah.
Now it's boom, 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 look and get it. You know the playbook. Get comfortable, get the ball where it belongs, and you'll be fine. So,
and let's address this question. At what point does Mateer get yanked? It would have to be. I mean, it would have to be pretty disgusting ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a team on the schedule that can do that. That can put us in that scenario. But this is Arbuckle's guy. You're trying to redshirt Hawk at this point. But I still say the same thing we said last week. Nothing looked good against Temple. Nothing looked good against Kent State with Michael Hawkins yet. And it's not getting better. A lot of people get romanticized with the backup quarterback, but I don't think Hawk's it. There was a lot of really, really goofy arms angles and stuff like that in the game. He damn near got Keontae Lewis killed. There was a lot of bad with Michael Hawkins, and again, he's a sophomore, true sophomore, second year in the program. I don't see that happening. I think that we would see Neubauer if it was a situation where, like Spencer Rattler, Texas, where you pull where you pull him out for a series, it's going to be Neubauer. But I don't think that you pull John Mateer, no matter what happens this game. I don't. I mean, if he gets hurt, I think you still run with Neubauer. I don't think that you're pulling that because John Mateer is coming back next year, guys, that's pretty much guaranteed at this point. Nobody's taking him high enough to where it's going to make a difference. But yeah,
I agree.
And you pull him and you tank him, then that could have a big effect. And then maybe you have an open quarterback competition going into the next year. But as of right now, neither of these cats are, Neubauer or Hawkins. Neither of those guys are. They're not better than John Mateer, even with some of the struggles that he's had.
Yeah, and for him, the bigger thing is going to be that needs to be the bounce back game. Tennessee is dealing with a bunch of injuries in their secondary. This is the perfect opportunity to get yourself right. We're about 8 minutes away before the first injury report of the week drops. The good old availability report drops. So we're going to take a gander at that. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Let's look around the SEC, Coop. Game of the week to me, still. Vanderbilt heads Texas. I hate you. I will fight you. I will fight you. No. Vanderbilt, Texas. If I would have told you that Vanderbilt would be the number 9 team in the country, would you have believed me? 2 years ago.
No, I wouldn't have believed you week 3 of this season. Hey, listen, I'm just going to call it out. The best part about Vanderbilt being successful is the SEC shorts pimp, like the Vandy pimp. Like,
yeah, it really is great.
That's literally the best part about every bit of this. Listen, Jay, Vanderbilt believes that they're going to go down there and win. They don't think that they can win. They're believing that they're going to go down there and win.
That's all they think about. That's all they care about. In their mind is they're going to go win.
And Pavia, at the beginning of the year, we were taking shots at him at SEC Media Days when he was saying, hey, I came back so we can compete for a national championship. We were laughing at the dude. And it wasn't so much that we had any doubt in Diego Pavia. It was just like everybody else around him. Well, guess what, Jay? Everybody else around him is balling too. They're not blowing dudes out. They just know how to freaking win. They just go and win.
Year 2 together, man. You can see the way the defense, Clark Lee has been building that defense up. And they got Tim back last year. They improved from the 2-10 season to 6-7 if I'm correct. You saw the improvements. You're like, oh wow, they're seeing a little growth. They made a bowl game. Cool, good job, Clark. And now you got him walking around here at 7-1. Like whomst amongst us would have figured that they would go 7-1. I had a feeling that they were going to be fighting for a playoff spot. I didn't think that they'd finish it out, but the way their schedule lines up, if they go down to Texas, which Arch Manning is right now in concussion protocol, there's a chance he doesn't play.
Hey, I'll get to the Texas side here in a second, but I'll say this too here, Jay, is we were on the SEC podcast before the year last year, ranking the head coaches 1 through 16, right? Mm-hmm. The only reason why Clark Lee wasn't 16 was because Jeff Lebby hadn't coached a game yet.
Yep.
There was the only reason. We're talking about hot seats and everything like that. Now, dude is like, he's set for life at this point, right? Vanderbilt's going to probably pay him a significant amount of money to stick around, and they're going to keep that there. And again, I know the last week, I made a comment after the show on Sunday night where I said, I'm still not 100% sold because I don't understand how you can play against Missouri's backup and still just kind of, seal the game in a 1 touchdown win. But they just find a way to win, and it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the number on the left side and the number on the right side of those little dash marks. Those are the things that matter.
Yep.
And as from the outside perspective, you got a guy that's in the Heisman race, probably one of the top candidates. The stats aren't going to be sexy, but he just gets his team down the field to win.
He's gritty.
Defense is balling too.
Mm-hmm. That's what you get when you bring an OC with your quarterback and you give him a year together to formulate the bond you need between him and all of his teammates. Pavia is he's the de facto leader. And people talk about how much of a leader he is and the way that he embraces everybody and he acknowledges everybody. Seen great stories about him. Shows up. That's what matters.
He reminds me of like a mix between Johnny Manziel and Tommy DeVito, the backup up there at New York Giants. Like he's like a cool, calm demeanor. He just has a show to him, but it's not over the top. But on the other side of the ball, Jay, you said it with Arch is dude's head got bounced pretty hard late in that game.
Nasty
bounce. Is overtime, right? So he got up and somebody had to tell him that he was once the Heisman winner before the season started. But I'm really interested because if he can't play and Texas goes out and Matthew Caldwell balls out, there's going to be a lot of issues in Longhorn land.
It's fascinating about that is, I mean, them being favored right now by 2.5 is because they're at home, but it's also, if it was neutral site, Vanderbilt would be the favorite. Vanderbilt will be favored at home, and they'd be the favorite at a neutral site. And that's what Caldwell expected to play.
And I would say this too. Texas, their defense is good. It sucks to admit it, but their defense is good. Their defense is good at keeping you out of your game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt plays kind of without a game plan. They can do everything well. They're not looking to throw for 400 yards. They're not looking to run for 400 yards. They're looking to stay balanced, and that's the type of offense that's going to give Texas some issues. You're gonna continue to suck up that the defensive backs, and then when they're not looking for it, they're gonna pop you, and then they just continue. I mean, listen, Vanderbilt's a team that I would like to see OU's defense versus their offense because the game plan of just taking what the defense gives to you, that if anything is their identity.
Yeah.
So I would I say this is, if Caldwell is cheeks and he plays, Vandy wins. If Caldwell is good and he plays, I still think Vandy wins. If Arch plays, I think Vandy wins. I mean, I got Vandy in this game, and I can see this game. The over/under is 45.5, right? I can see this being like a 23-20 type of a game.
Ooh, 23-20, and that bodes very well for Vanderbilt. That is 100% what they want. Give them a game that looks like that. I am very much interested. You've gotten my attention there, my friend. Georgia, Florida, I don't know. New coach. It's going to give you something. Right?
Enough, though?
I don't know. That's the question. I don't know if it will. I don't know if I believe if it will, because that's kind of the thing. I don't know.
What Lagway shows up is going to
be the question,
determine if this game is close. It's 100% the Lagway anomaly. If the Lagway from the Texas game shows up, you got a game.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the only thing I can guarantee you on, Jay, is any success that Georgia has on defense isn't going to be because of their players. It's going to be because of the inefficiencies of the Florida offense. And is that just crazy for someone to say out loud?
I know that is kind of wild if you really think about it. Like, Georgia's defense has been known for being just elite, and it's kind of crazy to think that that's kind of how that goes. So I don't know. We've got what we were looking for. Availability report. We're going to jump into that in just a second. Let's pay this bill first. We do that. Shout out to our partners at Sleeper. If you're not using them for daily fantasy football or daily fantasy sports in general, you are missing out. They are hooking everybody up. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. No deposit required. Use our promo code UNFAIR. But if you decide to deposit, they're going to give you $100 if you deposit $100. And I jump in there and I play quite often. You just pick 2 or more players, pick more or less, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money, which turns your game days into paydays. So download the app. It's one of the top apps out there. Use our promo code UNFAIR. You're going to get $100 if you deposit $100. But if you decide not to deposit, they're going to give you $20 for signing up. New users only. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Of course, thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. We had the availability report. It's here. Let's go ahead and break it. You ready? Here it is, Coop. Right now, it appears that Javonte Barnes, Taylor Tatum, Gentry Williams, Kobe McKenzie, which BV mentioned, kind of tweaked his groin, and Logan Howland are all on the questionable side. You still see a doubtful for Keontez Lewis and Derek Simmons, both, I believe, in some sort of a concussion protocol. And then your outs, of course, all those 3 linemen have been out for most of the season. I think Sexton is working to come back probably sometime this season. I don't know. I don't even know about Taylor. I know Troy is basically, he's at the earliest he could come back, I think, is Missouri. If I think about from the spring injury he had and he came back to Tennessee game, to me, I think that lines up since it was the opposite knee. So I'd say Missouri would be probably the closest if he was to come back, but I don't see a reason for him to come back this year. That was pretty bad for him. Terrible. But I think on the questionable side, though, Barnes hurt his hammy. Taylor Tatum is working his way back. Gentry tweaked his shoulder. But potentially having Gentry back, Kobe McKenzie being possibly down, but you probably are going to play a lot more nickel because of the way Tennessee plays games, more on their offense, even though they only really use 3 wide receivers. And then Logan Howland should be possibly back. What you thinking?
It's interesting. I mean, first of all, I'll say Keontez. I think the ding at the wall was much, much worse than everybody realized.
Honestly, I think he got hurt in the Texas game because I think he got hit in the Texas game and came out. He took a tackle in that one that was not pretty too. So it feels like that's probably where it kind of probably re-aggravated something and it's like, you out, bro. Get out.
Yeah, I would say that because from my understanding, I don't think we see Keontez or Derek Simmons because I think if you have the doubtful, then you got a big explanation on why they get moved into playability. Surprised to see Javonte Barnes as questionable. I mean, I don't know if we see Javonte again this year. Taylor Tatum is working back from not being available at all. So the big ones are Logan Howland was a little bit more on the if necessary last week. Foj really showed out though. So Logan Howland's going to be a swing tackle, and he's going to kind of be a little bit more the just in case something happens type of a situation.
Yeah, break.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, so Gentry and Kobe, again, do you put Gentry back out there with his shoulder? Because, I mean, I'm guessing that the defensive backs are going to be making some tackles this week. If we see Gentry tomorrow move towards probable, then I think we see him. If he's still questionable tomorrow, I'm wondering if it's a, break in case of emergency. So that's kind of how I feel about Tatum, Williams, McKenzie, and Howland. Love to see Taylor Tatum, come in fresh legs towards the end of the season. He's just another offensive option. But, he's working back from about 3 different injuries.
I know, right? He is. Aaron Carter being hurt for Tennessee is kind of a big deal. But, of course, you see McCoy is listed as out. So they're talking about him. I think it was Pete Nakos that put out the report that he's been practicing. He had pads on, but he's still limited. He's out. he ain't playing.
He ain't coming.
Yeah, they have you listed as out. You probably ain't playing in the game. Ricky Gibson as well. The other corner they had this really good is Colton Hood. He was a transfer from Colorado. He's a really good corner. But overall, secondary has been just torturous for them. It hasn't been very good at all this season. But Arian Carter being down there is a interesting one. So yeah, like you said, I don't expect to see Keontez or Simmons. But I can see the questionable guys moving more into the probable over the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think Javonte plays, but I think the other 4 are probably going to see the field. I don't know. It sucks for everybody to see Everett, Sexton, Taylor there like every damn week but I mean, I guess that from my understanding also is unless you're on the scout team, like any injury has to be listed up here, or unless you've been deemed out for the season. So the good news is I mean, Taylor, Everett, and Sexton aren't technically out for the season, but it definitely clogs up and makes it look a lot worse than it is. But Kobe had a little bit of a groin pull during the Ole Miss game, so I'd have been a little bit more worried if I saw him on the doubtful side. But he wants to get back in here. He wants to. This is one of the leaders of the team.
Yeah, he does. He wants to be back. That is exactly. So we'll see if we get lucky enough or whatnot. But I don't think that the injury report is really bad. Somebody asked the question of how can we be hurt? I think it's PG or whatnot. Injuries happen. It's college football. That's just the game. Like, we're not the only team on here with injury. Like, all the other injury reports from other teams, they're pretty darn damning as well. Like. Texas has 4 questionables. Archer's on the questionable list right now with Michael Taft or whatnot. Georgia lost Kobe Young, the wide receiver, sucks. And then Kyron Jones, the DB, sucks. Florida's got a lot. They still ain't got LJ McCray. That's crazy. And Jacoby Jackson's out. Theirs is nasty too. It's, the beauty of playing in the SEC, man. Just everybody, people that they think have a chance of coming back are typically put on this list. And that's why I don't think you see Dobie on here. I assume that Kendall Dobie's probably going to end up redshirting. I know that he had dealt with, after he came back from the ankle injury, he was dealing with some other injury stuff. And I know BV said he was trying to work some stuff out. Most of it was he was dealing with some injuries. So, usually when you get one bad injury, that does kind of sometimes continue to lead to additional injuries. Sucks, but
yeah, and as far as Taylor Tatum not being listed earlier, I saw that question from Jonathan. To be honest with you, I don't know. I know that he wasn't available. He's been going through walkthroughs since, Temple? Yeah. And it seems like every single time that he gets closer, I know that he was going through some of the walkthrough stuff, with the cast on his wrist. And, then I think that he was ready to go, and then a little bit of a hamstring situation. So I'm not sure why it wasn't there, because he wasn't listed as out for the season. Mm-hmm. But if you're on the scout team and you're hurt, so maybe it is a designation that he was designation on scout team. Yeah, that would be my best guess.
That's probably what it is, and that makes the most sense. Is that he was designated on the scout team, so they don't have to technically quote unquote list him. What my understanding on this is, they list the people that have a potential chance of actually playing sometime this year. And so whenever he gets moved up from scout, he's now in the position where he could potentially play. They put him on there. Like Barnes, I know that he should potentially play soon, but at the same time, you could do him a solid, let him redshirt, keep running with X-Rob and Torrey Blaylock, and just let him redshirt and transfer out if he wants to. Like, you can give him that option, which to me would be a solid thing that you could do as a program, personally. That's what I think. But we got an injury report. This is the initial one. This will be the one that we will use to figure out what's going to happen for, I guess, the rest of the year. But from there, we've only got a couple more games here we'll look at real quick for the SEC. And then we get on up out of here.
Jay, The Mississippi State Arkansas game is 67.5 for the total.
Oh my gosh!
I'm taking the over.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Bro, I'm taking the over. I don't understand why the over under. I mean, where the total is not like 77 or something like that. Like that would be. I mean, this is a game to where it's going to be Big 12 football.
Could one of their defenses actually show up in this game? Is the question. What's crazy is Arkansas is a 4.5-point favorite at home, and neither one of them have an SEC win in the last 2 years or something like that. It's been forever since both of them has won an actual game in SEC.
I know that the Arkansas was the last time.
Each other. But each other was their last win. So Mississippi State's last SEC wins against Arkansas, and Arkansas's last win in the SEC was against Mississippi State.
And you know what? Arkansas was the last Power 4 team that Oklahoma State beat.
Dang. Wow. I forgot about that. That made me mad because Arkansas, I had you picked to be a shocking team, and you shocked me in the wrong direction. But no, Arkansas is the number 7 team in football, and Mississippi State, shockingly, is only 53rd in offense, but they both score like crazy. That'll be a fun one. South Carolina, Ole Miss. I'm gonna put it out there, man. This could be Ole Miss's Kentucky game as last year. I'm saying it will happen, but we said that Ole Miss was going to destroy Kentucky last year, and what happened? He took an L.
What's Dylan Edwards? Is he healthy again? Is he back and playing? 'Cause he had the hip situation against OU.
Yeah, the hip thing against in the Oklahoma game was brutal for him. But I don't. You know what? Let me look.
Take a look at that. I hear the same reason why South Carolina lost to Bama. I don't think they can score enough.
Not on the injury report.
Listen, if at this point Shane Beamer, nobody wants you there. I don't think he really wants to be there. I'd go to Dylan Edwards and be like, how many sacks do you think you can get in this game? And then if he says 4, say, go do it.
Yeah, just don't even no, just go do it. Here you go. You got it. I mean, they gave Alabama a hell of a game, and like I said, he's not listed on the availability report on the initial one, which tells me he's 100% to go. May not be 100% healthy, but he's playing. That to me is going to be what's going to be the most interesting in that one. If Dylan Edwards is playing and he's out there able to terrorize Trinidad, this could be Kentucky last year.
I mean, it's a 12.5-point favorite. Ole Miss is at home. They just went and did it. Everybody's talking really, really well about them. I mean, this could be your trap game. And then this is the best team that Ole Miss has left on the schedule, right?
Yeah.
They're like the Citadel and Mississippi
Citadel,
State.
Florida, and Mississippi State.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is the one that, this could be the game that knocks them down. They could, if they lose this one, which would be terrible on them, but yeah, that Kentucky game was a perfect example. They lost a game that they should not have lost. They lost 20-17. South Carolina is built to do that same thing. So, yeah.
And I mean, against South Carolina, against Florida, you're going to get a desperate team where guys are playing for film, and they're going to want to make plays. And it's not about team success anymore. There's going to be a lot of, hey, let's just you can play the spoiler. So I don't know. I would still say I think Ole Miss win. What it's at nighttime too. Man,
mm-hmm. It's a night game, so you got night football out there for them. That's going to be an interesting one. I'm really intrigued to see how that turns out. And then, of course, Auburn and Kentucky's the last night game they play at the same time as us. And Auburn's a 10.5-point favorite. I honestly don't. Well, their defense is still actually good. Durkin is actually doing a good job. I still have questions, though.
Is this do both these coaches coach next week?
I don't think Kentucky fires Stoops. I don't think they do. I don't think they fire him. Win or lose. Auburn may end up bowl eligible this year, though. What do they have left on their schedule? Which will be weird.
They were ranked.
Oh, they got Vandy, Mercer, and then Bama.
So they got to win this game to be bowl eligible. Then.
Yeah, they win this one. They'll win Mercer.
And then Mercer.
That's 6. Yeah, and then between Vandy on the road and Bama at home, they can finish 6-6. That's an improvement from last year. It was 5-7.
Does the Stanford guy play this week, or do you think they trot Jackson Arnold back out there?
Jackson Arnold's done. He's out. That is Ashton Daniels' team moving forward. Shouldn't have played Deuce Knight, but whatever.
Well, apparently he's not very good either.
I mean, he's a true freshman.
Yeah. Where's Jackson Arnold go from here, Jay?
I truly don't understand why he didn't go to Mississippi State in the beginning and rode the pine for a year. I really don't get it. That's the best place for him to go. Go to Mississippi State. I think you can beat out Luke Kromenhoek because I don't think he's all that good. He's turned out to not be that great. He was a Florida State kid that he was a top 10 quarterback in the country, went to Florida State, transferred to Mississippi State because Florida State basically told him he had to go kick rock because he wasn't good. He should probably go there, but he may end up at North Texas close to the crib. Depending on
Mastermakers just threw for more yards in a game than Jackson Arnold has this year. So I don't know if I
don't know if Matt is he going to be there next year, because honestly, I think that North Texas staff is about to get another job. Somebody should be smart and hire him.
I watched that South Florida game. That dude makes Dylan Gabriel's arm look like a howitzer. So I don't know if he's big-time program quarterback, but I will say this. I think Jackson Arnold at this point, maybe at Georgia Tech. Could that offensive staff turn him into the new Haynes King?
He could. I could see it. I could see it. UTSA?
Does he even have a shot at being in Power 4? I'm thinking Sam Houston State.
That wouldn't be a bad landing spot. He needs a year on the bench. A year on the bench would really help him.
Iowa, they don't expect anything out of their quarterbacks.
Yeah. Elliott Ness, that is Michael Fasusi. Him and Ryan Fogier will be probably starting in this game, which is a good thing.
I think.
Tulsa. Ooh, Mario Taylor, you're right. You're right, Coach. Mario's good. But again,
that's
a Jeff Lebby recruit that if Lebby just made him sit the bench for a year, I think he could be effective. He needs to redshirt. He desperately needs to redshirt.
If Jackson
Arnold, yes, he needs to redshirt.
He's already redshirted, hasn't he?
No, he didn't redshirt. Remember, he had to play because Dylan Gabriel got hurt. The BYU game, he burned his red shirt.
Baylor with Lincoln Riley. Here's what I think. Jackson Arnold, if he goes to any type of an actual program, you're getting the league minimum. So if he wants money, he doesn't need money. His family's pretty well off, but
he's well off. He's done well for himself. He played 5 games. Yeah, the BYU game is when they burned his red shirt. When Dylan Gabriel got that concussion, and they didn't want to say it, but he got a concussion at the end of the first half, and they had to bring him in, and he ended up winning, closing out that game. Only had to be 5-9, which was good.
Wait, is Arkansas State, isn't that like they had that second chance U situation there for a little while? But it was like criminals.
Butch Jones could probably use them. They were winning. How are they this year? They're 4-4 this year. They're not very good, but they hit a bowl game against the year we played against them. I'm not sure. I'm not. We'll just ignore PG because he's just trolling in here. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. Please check them out. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're gonna hook you up with a nice deposit bonus. 100% matching first deposit up to $100 and $20 just for showing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And we'll see all of y'all Sunday. If you're going to be in Knoxville, find me. I will be floating around there. I have no clue what I'm going to wear yet, but I'll be there.
Take your meds, PG.
Take your meds, PG. Peace.